Hey everybody, how you doing? MP1Way here on Got Next Gaming. I've thrown together a little bit of a video here for you guys to show you how to start a YouTube channel on a very small budget. So this is the poor man's setup for YouTube. I don't have fancy equipment. I've repurposed things around the house to help me record my gameplay from the Mac, from my PlayStation, and you can do the same. I did this all for $150 was my layout to actually get the YouTube channel started. And that was for my Elgato HD60. I had the PlayStation already, and if you have a console, Xbox, or PlayStation, you can do the same thing. I'm sure you have a TV that you play that PlayStation on, and you can use that TV. Most households nowadays, like 90% of them, even maybe more than that, have computers or PCs or Macs, and you can use that as well. I will go through all the software. I will go through all the hardware that I use, and we're going to see you guys in a few minutes leading into the software side of it on the Mac. That's what I use. I use a Mac. See you in a minute. So here we have the desktop of my computer. As you can see it, I am currently recording that using the OBS software, which you can see on the screen here, and you can also see my cam as well that I'm using. And I am using the FaceTime camera that's built into the iMac. I have a 27-inch iMac that I use. It is one of the better models with a good graphics card in it and decent enough RAM to get what I need to get done. I can always upgrade it later on when I need to. So I use 8 gigs of RAM right now. RAM is one of those things that people are very confused about and how much you really need to use to do things. Now, yes, definitely there are programs out there that are heavy lifting programs that require the resources to do a lot of that stuff. If you have a lot of things open at one time, you definitely want a lot more RAM. When you start getting into live streaming and things like that, you will start opening more programs and will need more resources to run those said programs. Now, on here you can see I have OBS. I can move it around here into the middle of the screen for you, and you can see the different filters for it, for scene, console, live format, stream break. I've put in different things here, and I've built what I use to do for live streaming. Extremely easy to do. It's very self-explanatory. When you do stream on a Mac, there are limitations. You don't have all the features that are available as if you were on a PC. If you are streaming from a Mac, you're going to have to either live with that or find a way to get yourself a PC or even load PC onto your Mac, which you can do. I like the boot camp option. I like to boot into a completely different partition because, again, if you're only running a certain amount of RAM, you will be losing valuable resources by running multiple operating systems in one sort of format or one window, so to speak. So I have the different things here that you can see, and I mean, I can switch around between these while I'm doing streaming. I can go to stream break. This is what I kind of use when I want to break, and I don't want people to see what's going on around me, or if I move away, they can see that. They don't see the cam. They don't see just dead space. They'll see this graphic instead. And I can go back to anything I want to there and kind of move that around. I can also get rid of this. I can minimize it so it's completely out of the way. So we don't see it at all, and I don't see it when I'm working on my screen. I don't even see my cam here at all. I just see my desktop, so it's out of my way. I can minimize it. It doesn't affect what I'm doing. It doesn't get into my line of view, and I don't have to worry about that distraction if I don't want it. So other than that, for the OBS, for like live streaming, there are other things that you can use to do streaming as well. If you're recording from a console like PS4 or Xbox One or PS3 or Xbox 360, any of those, you will need a game capture device or card. On a Mac, you don't need a game capture card. There is software built in, again, like I said, that you can use to do screen recording like the OBS. Or you can even use like Apple's QuickTime Player to do screen recording. It's kind of what I use as well. And here we can see, I just pulled up the Game Capture HD software for Elgato. I use an Elgato HD60. I will be doing some screenshots here to show you that stuff, all the equipment that I'm using too. I'll go through all the equipment in this video as well to show you the pieces and the bits that I put together hardware-wise, which is where you kind of got to spend your money. So I had a PS4. I got it as a gift, so I got lucky there. I can stream from my PS4 using the Elgato HD60. That cost me about $160 or so. So that was one investment I definitely did have to make monetarily in order to start this up. But I already had the PS4, I already had the computer. So, I mean, it's like one of those things like, now what do we got to do to get everything else going? And that's where I'm going to kind of show you the hardware side of it in a minute. Let me just close this out here. And we're going to quit the game capture. And we still have my OBS that's still open. But I don't use the OBS when I'm recording from the PlayStation 4. I just use that Elgato software. And that's it, really. So, we'll close out the remainder of my things as well. Let's see what else I have down here and I can show you software-wise. Oh yeah, so here's some more software that I use too. This is kind of important. A lot of people ask. I use Final Cut to do my editing. Final Cut Pro, a very expensive program. I think it's called Vegas on PC is what you kind of use to do editing as well. I don't use any Photoshop tools. It's too expensive for me to purchase. Again, getting up there into money. I happened to get a free copy of Final Cut, which I was lucky to get. And other software to use is Handbrake. I use Handbrake to compress the videos. This way, if I have this huge video that's, like a huge amount of gigabytes, I can kind of get away with it there, where I can compress it down to a smaller file that'll upload a lot faster to YouTube, because the bigger the file size, the longer it takes to upload. And by compressing it here, I can definitely help out the situation with that. So let's get this out of the way. Let's just remove that. No, I don't want to get rid of the game. Let's just drop this out of this frame for a second. So here you can see the Handbrake for that, which I use to, again, like I said, compress video. I'm not going to go into the actual how to compress a video here. Eventually, if you guys like this or what you're seeing, I can do more tutorials about how to compress the video and how to use Handbrake. I don't really go really deep into the tools of it and what it's really capable of. I just kind of do a simple compress the video to a smaller format size so that I can upload the things that I need to upload to YouTube at a more reasonable amount of time. If we come down, we can see that I am currently working on uploading a video right now to YouTube. Let me get that out of my way. And it's actually already gone up and edited, been uploaded and processed through YouTube, so it's currently on my website now. I can go into my channel, and I can see that that video has now just been added on there, and it's 4 minutes ago. I just finished doing its little upload for us there. So we'll get that out of our way as well. And what other software can I show you guys while I'm at it? I mean, I have Steam. I go into Steam to find free demo games to play, to put up here as well. I use Notes to kind of put down what I'm going to put into the descriptions, and then I copy and paste into the descriptions for a YouTube video. Maybe I'll go through a step-by-step process of how to upload an actual video and my process for that at some point. But right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, we're going to get into the hardware side of this now, and we're going to show you the bits and pieces that I found around my house in order to make this work for us. Alrighty, everybody. So here we are. We're going to take a look now at some stuff, the hardware that I have pulled together by, like I said, pulling pieces from around the house to do this. And you're going to see how you can do this by repurposing things that you have in your own home to start a YouTube channel on a very, very tight budget, very, very small budget. So, alright, everybody, so here it is. This is the humble little setup that I have. It's not some great gamer setup that you see all around on YouTube, where they have everything matching and all the monitors are perfectly lined up and everything else. And no, the cable management is not the greatest. I am a cable management kind of guy, but I've kind of thrown this together and I've been adding pieces here and there. Soon I'm going to tear this all down and rerun all the wires nice, because right now I'm going to kind of keep it the way it is where I'm at, because I can do enough of what I need to do with what I have here, and we're going to try to continue that as it is. So we'll start here on this side. I do have an HP printer. It's an old one. It's like 5 years old. I don't use it to do anything with YouTube, but it's a printer, and it's still hooked up to the home computer, which is my 27-inch iMac, and my wife does need to print some things from time to time. I have an old, I believe this is a 32-inch LCD flat screen TV that I had
in one of the bedrooms that we don't use right now. It's kind of like a guest room in a way, and we weren't really using the TV or using the room really that much. It's kind of sitting there on the wall doing nothing. So I pulled it down, and you can see I'm currently playing Batman on there right now. And I mounted it to the wall back here, so it's kind of up and out of the way of things. And just an older TV that I had lying around, nothing special. When me and my wife moved in together and got married, we had a couple of TVs, and this is one of the extra ones, as well as one underneath the desk there too. You can kind of see it just past the controller. There's another TV there. That was one of my extra TVs too. So I have a couple TVs actually, and the one underneath, the power supply went on it, so I'd have to replace the power supply, which I could do myself, but haven't gotten around to it. And it's like $50 for a power supply, and this TV works. Like I said, this was done on a budget, so we're gonna go based upon the budget, right? I have an old set of Fatality headphones that I had gotten with the microphone on it. I got this many years ago when I was playing Call of Duty 4, and I built one of my gaming PCs that I had used. I do have rechargeable batteries that I use here and charge from time to time. I do use rechargeable batteries, and I also use regular batteries as well. And I have regular AA's. But you know what? The rechargeables are better because save a little money that way. I have a couple extra wires here, an extension cord, and a USB cable, extra cables. I do have my dock here. I repurposed some of my old hard drives from my PC tower that I no longer use, my gaming PC. So I have a hard drive in the back over here, and then I have another 640 gigabyte hard drive here. Currently in the sled, which is a dual sled, I can put 2 drives in here at once, is a 500 gigabyte drive. And again, pulled out of one of my PCs that I use to record for like Final Cut and stuff like that. You'll see one of my Dell speakers. I got this from a Dell computer that I had many years ago. It was just a home computer extra from the gaming PC so that nobody in the house would bother me for a computer while I was playing Call of Duty 4. Whatever. And of course an old Razer mouse that I use from time to time when I kind of like the feel of it better when I'm doing games rather than using the Mac mouse. There's a wire in the way. I apologize for that. Like I said, wire management right now is not the greatest. Here's the Mac mouse right now. It's the wireless Magic Mouse. And then, of course, the Apple keyboard, which I use. It's good enough to do what I have to do. It's not some fancy gaming keyboard. I'm not here doing competition, so it's not super important that it be that way. And, of course, the iMac, 27-inch iMac. Let me pull back a little bit for you. And one of the better models. It's got the better graphics card, and it's got 8 gigabytes of RAM right now. I will upgrade the RAM eventually. RAM is not so important as is the video card. That's a big misconception that people have. They think they have to have like 64 gigabytes of RAM to run things, and you really don't. You just have to manage it. Any Mac operating system manages RAM really, really well. So I can open up multiple things at a time and run pretty efficiently without much problem. And like I said, the graphics GPU, that's what you kind of want your power to be at. And I got the better graphics card. I think it's the I don't exactly remember. It's in my YouTube channel. If you looked, you'll see all of the specs for the iMac there, and maybe I'll put them down in the description below for everybody to see too. And you can see right now I'm using Final Cut to edit some footage from gameplay. We have underneath there is the, let me turn on the light here a little bit so we get a little bit of light, is the Elgato HD60, and a little dusty there. And then we have the PlayStation 4 right here. That's a PS3 controller. Let me get my notepad out of the way. I kind of make my notes right there. I do have a lamp here as well, which kind of helps with lighting for when I am doing some live streaming and stuff like that. So PS4 is right there. Here I have a 21-inch Dell monitor. Again, I use this one. I had the gaming PC built, and I got it for a really good price. It's got HDMI on it. It's got the audio ports built into it, so I can plug in the speakers. There's a speaker underneath here as well. Let's see if we can't get lighting for that on this side of it. There we go. A little bit better lighting. So we got the main portion of the speaker system right there, and then I got another speaker right down there. There's also a subwoofer down below. You'll see some of my daughter's toys along the side there, and all of the wire mess and the spaghetti that I have going on. And that's pretty much the extent to the setup there. You'll see some of the games that I'm playing currently right now too. So I have WWE and MLB The Show, which you see on the station. I am currently in YouTube right now, and I was checking out somebody else's live stream while I was doing some editing and whatnot, and uploading my latest Batman video myself. And like I said, so here you can see, like, I'll put things up on the 21-inch monitor, which again, it's repurposed. I've had laying around ever since I got the iMac. I haven't really used it, and it's a good monitor. It has a built-in webcam. If I want to hook up that, I can plug it into the iMac, and I'll also use that webcam as well. It does accept HDMI, has VGA, DVI support as well, and I think I picked this up for like $130 like years ago. But again, it was sitting around the house doing nothing, so I repurposed it because I just started the channel a little less than 6 months ago, maybe like 3 or 4 months. I've really been at this now. So like I said, you can kind of do things on the cheap as you repurpose stuff around the house, and you can see that, you know, I've built myself a nice little setup here to kind of get me going in the meantime. Nothing fancy, extravagant. The Fatality headphones, the old flat screen TV that's sitting in a room doing nothing, collecting dust. Some hard drives from older computers that I've reformatted, erased and reformatted and partitioned to work so that I can use it for footage from the iMac, just so I can do all my rendering and all my scratch files go there, and I don't have to use up space on my internal hard drive of my computer and beat that up too bad. You have the Apple mouse and the Apple keyboard, which came with the iMac, of course, the Elgato HD60, the Razer mouse that I use to do the games with, the PlayStation 4, my little lamp, and again, like I said, the 21-inch Dell monitor with the HDMI imports on it, so that kind of helps out nicely there. And we're getting a little bit of a dark shot there. Too much light from the monitor itself. So we'll do that, and then you can see that speaker underneath it. And again, my spaghetti wires that are all underneath as I try to get everything together to just get it to work for all of that. So there you have it. I mean, I spent maybe 140 or 50 bucks on the HD60 to get this channel going. I had the dock all along. These cost you 20 bucks. You can find them on Amazon or Newegg or whatever your shopping preference is for that. And again, the hard drives I've had because they were laying around out of old towers, and I just pulled them out and I repurposed them. They're in good shape. They're in good working order. And I can just pop them in and out of the drive whenever I need to. My storage of them is not the greatest. I probably should put them in static bags, anti-static bags or whatnot, but there's not much here that can kind of cause static, except for the rug, but I put a rubber mat underneath my chair so that we don't have to worry about too much like static or grounding issues there for the drives. And I probably won't fry them because, like I said, I'm pretty careful about static electricity and ESD discharge and stuff like that. So, I mean, pretty much there you have it. I mean, you know, like I said, all in all, I bought an adapter to plug the Dell monitor into the iMac. That cost me another 13 bucks for the live stream portion of it, so that I can see stuff on the one monitor and play the game on the iMac just fine. I have installed Boot Camp on the iMac as well, so I can have a PC and Windows version here that I can play Windows games on or PC games on, as well as the games for the Mac. I kind of tend to lean towards the Mac right now. I don't mess around too much with the PC games as it is right now because I'm kind of focusing on PlayStation 4 stuff, as you can see by the Batman game, Arkham Knight, and then by MLB 15 The Show. So I'll put a description of all the pieces that I have here down below. You'll see the pieces, and again, it's just stuff that I repurposed from the house. I'm kind of a pack rat when it comes to electronics, so I have cables and wires that I've just been collecting over the years, and you know, you can kind of get everything to work together. I mean, all in all, I probably spent about 200 bucks of my own money just to get like everything going and start the channel itself, to start the YouTube channel itself. So nothing major was used there to do that. Like, you know, small investment at the best to do that. I didn't spend $10,000 or $5,000 or thousands and thousands of dollars to do this. Realistically, it all started with just the HD60. Like I said, I already had the PlayStation, I already had the Mac computer when I decided that I wanted to start this channel. So it's stuff that I had laying around. I added the TV because it was easier to obviously play the PlayStation 4 on that rather than my regular TV that we use to watch TV with, which actually happens to be a 100-inch screen in our TV room here behind me that we watch like our TV shows on and movies and whatnot. So it was easier to play a game on a smaller screen because there's not much to look at and your peripheral doesn't have to extend so far, especially with shooter games and such. The smaller screen is a lot better. And I could even have used this Dell because, like I said, it has the HDMI ports on it. And I did at one point for a little bit. Actually, I was plugging the PlayStation into that to play, and worked out pretty well. Like I said, the smaller the screen, the better it seems to be, especially with shooter games because you can kind of see everything right in front of you, and it's not extended out too much. I know, like, some people want to play on a big, huge, like 50-inch screen or whatever, and like I said, I have I'll kind of pan over and I'll show you quickly. I have this 100-inch screen here that we watch our TV shows on, and my daughter's right now watching some of her shows. I think this is Sheriff Callie, yeah, something like that, that she watches. So that's what we watch our TV on, but this is what I kind of do my work in. And it's in my regular room. It's in my TV room where the family hangs out, and that's why sometimes you hear a lot of background noise and the such, because the dog is here and Emma's here playing, and I'm doing my stuff as well. But, I mean, that's it here for the hardware portion of it, and you can guys see what I did here. Like I said, it was maybe $160 for the HD60 to kind of get me going. And that was really it, and a lot of time and effort. But you can do it for a minimal amount of money if you have this kind of stuff laying around already. I mean, if you already have the PlayStation, you already have the computer, it's almost very easy to kind of get going to do this stuff. And like, anybody can do it. I can do it. You can do it. Eventually, I'll upgrade equipment as I go, and I'll kind of even things out. I definitely would love to get to like a 3-monitor setup of some sort. I will continue to use a Mac. I love the power of the Mac operating system. What it does and what it brings, and I'm kind of frustrated and disappointed by Windows lately, especially Windows 8. Last Windows version I used was 7, and I've looked at 8. I hope 10 is going to be a lot better, but who knows? That's something for a different day. I don't want to get into any of that kind of stuff right now. I just want to show you like the hardware here and how to get your YouTube channel going that's going to work best for you. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to move on to the next section, and that's the hardware portion of it. We'll see in a minute.
So here you can see we're going to take a little bit of a trip backwards in the time machine. You'll see by the timestamp in the corner that this photo is from 2008. This was my PC setup. The tower in the right corner there is what I built myself. You can see a little bit of a ridiculous setup I had with a pole holding up a shelf with the printer on top because it was in my way and I needed the printer at the time. My 2 monitors, the Dell that I'm reusing right now, the Linksys router in the background along with the modem, and an old 19-inch Dell monitor that I used too. And you can see I had a little bit of my wire management ways back then too, where I had the power supply or the power strip up on the wall. Probably could have lowered that a little bit for aesthetic reasons so I didn't have to actually see the plugs. But I was just starting out, and this is back in 2008. This is 7 years ago. You can see some different pictures there of the tower. Like I said, I built that tower myself, piece by piece. You'll see the keyboard was a Dell keyboard and the Razer mouse that I'm, again, using now. We're going to jump forward here a little bit in time, back now up to 2015, when I originally got my Elgato HD60 right there in the middle. I had set it up on a folding table with my Mac and my 21-inch monitor, and eventually moved my desk from upstairs in the bedroom down here to the corner to get everything set up nice and cleanly. A couple of still shots there. We're going to take another quick shot back and take a look at the PC, one of the builds that I had on the PC. This was the original build and had a 950-watt power supply, and you can see that at the bottom of it there. And then we're going to take another shot of it here where I actually added in a better motherboard, processor, and CPU fan to help cooling situations for that machine. There's also a USB hub right in the middle of the monitor, between the monitor and the speaker. That I can use again going forward. I will eventually add that to the Mac and use that to add in more USB things that I use, peripherals, whatever it might be that I have to plug in eventually along the way. And again, something that I can repurpose that I've had for 7 years now. But that's going to do it for this video. This is the how to start a YouTube channel, the poor man setup. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. Leave your comments, criticism, and feedback down below. If you want to see something more like this with software or hardware and how to use that, please go ahead and ask me in the comments below. I will consider doing more videos. It's what I do for a living anyway. I'm in the IT field. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. And I will see you around the channel, and take care now.